At Southern Mutual Church Insurance, we all feel like we have a responsibility to prevent this. God has entrusted these little ones to our care. He asks us to do whatever it takes to raise them up as people of faith and to protect them. That's why we've created this video as part of our commitment to you. We offer other resources as well, such as training seminars in your community. We have a comprehensive manual you can use which provides tips, forms, checklists, and samples. Thank you for watching this video. And to learn more, visit our website at smcins.com. We're always here to help.
I'm Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott. The Lord teaches us that we must teach and protect our children. This protection has to be at all times. That includes our house of worship and all church functions. One of the programs we have to develop is anybody who works with our children must be checked to make sure that they're on the sex offender registry. Your local sheriff's department can help you do that. It is a matter of public record and is free to check. Please contact your local sheriff to find out if anyone's on the sex offender registry. If a situation arises in your church, law enforcement must be involved. A church cannot handle it themselves. Law enforcement has to get involved and do an investigation. That is the law. I am honored to be a partner with Southern Mutual Church Insurance to help develop this program, to help you protect yourself, protect your church. Law enforcement agencies want to be partners with our churches to protect our children. Please call upon us to work with you to develop these policies and procedures. We're here. We're just a phone call away.
The unfortunate fact is, no one in our society is 100% protected. Our children are often at risk at places that they should feel the safest and the places that we should feel the most comfortable leaving them, such as schools, camps, and especially churches. That's because when we feel secure, we often make ourselves vulnerable. At our houses of worship, we want to foster a community of trust. Unfortunately, abusers know that, and they will take advantage of it. It happens everywhere in our country, from the biggest cities to the smallest and most tightly knit communities. Churches of all denominations have experienced these tragedies. A church youth minister in Maryland is charged with sexually abusing a teen girl during an overnight event at the church. A volunteer in Texas is accused of abusing children during evening prayer meetings. A youth minister pleads guilty to molesting 5 boys in Mississippi after a 37,000-member church in Dallas allowed him to quietly resign amid allegations of sexual abuse. Hundreds of churches each year receive reports of children being sexually abused by clergy, church staff, volunteers, or congregants. We want to help our churches keep this from happening to them. We want to help them provide a safe setting where their children can come to know God. We want their parents to feel that same sense of security. Southern Mutual Church Insurance has created this presentation to help give their churches peace of mind and protection. This video is only the first step. After watching it, it's important to have a discussion at your church, define a plan of action, and always be vigilant. What is sexual abuse? Child sexual abuse can take a number of forms. Touching, which involves physical contact, first comes to mind. A child doesn't have to be touched to be abused, though. Exposing a child to inappropriate language or inappropriate materials, including comments or posts on social media or websites, as well as emails or text, is also abuse. So who are the abusers? This might surprise you. Only 1 in 30 child abusers has a previous criminal background. That's why training and safeguards are important. While they are an essential starting point, criminal record checks alone aren't enough. According to a major background screening service, 86,000 people with criminal records tried to work or volunteer for nonprofit organizations over a 3-year period. Every 6 minutes, a convicted criminal tries to attain a position with a nonprofit organization. Approximately every 43 hours, at least one sex offender tries to attain a position in a youth-oriented organization. With the continual need for workers and volunteers, it's clear that churches need a comprehensive plan to protect children and youth of all ages. In this presentation, we'll outline policies and procedures you can put in place to protect your children. Here are the key steps. Creating a formal application process. Conducting face-to-face interviews. Performing criminal background checks. Checking references. creating policies that cover key issues such as minimum staffing and proper conduct, training to make sure people are aware of the policies and are following them, establishing reporting procedures for when someone sees an incident or has a suspicion. An application process is vital in getting to know the people that we're hiring. It used to be in small towns, we knew everyone. It's just not that way today. That's why a formal written application is important. It provides that history. Though the laws governing what can and cannot be asked vary from state to state, at minimum, your screening process should include a written application asking for the following: current and previous addresses, employment history, including addresses, dates, and job titles, education, including addresses of schools attended, information about pending criminal charges and criminal convictions, and references. There are laws limiting what types of questions you can ask during an interview. We would recommend that you consult with a local attorney before moving forward in this area. Once you have narrowed your list of applicants, schedule a face-to-face interview with each. Ask a colleague to sit in or establish an interview team. Extra sets of eyes and ears can be very helpful. Having a list of prepared questions will help you make sure you don't miss important points. Afterwards, those who sat in on the interview should review their notes together to look for discrepancies in responses or questions that weren't answered. Also, share impressions of the applicant. We understand that volunteers and even some church members may find criminal background checks intrusive or perhaps offensive. Would-be abusers know this and can take advantage of it. Lack of screening allows them to insert themselves into situations where children are present. While your congregation may feel uneasy about this step, once you explain the reasons, they should understand. There are a number of sources that can assist in obtaining a 50-state criminal background check. Many of our churches work with IntelliCorp or ClearStar for their screening. Make sure to contact all references, not only the people officially listed as references, but also past employers. These days, many businesses won't do much more than confirm dates of employment and job titles, but that will at least verify if the applicant is telling the truth on those points. If you do contact a reference who's willing to talk, ask mostly open-ended questions. Your key question, though, can be answered with a simple yes or no. Would you allow this person to work with children? Writing policies that all volunteers and employees are expected to follow is a key part of protecting children. Here are a few areas you should address in your church policy manual. Churches should prohibit one-on-one interactions between adults and children. No adult should ever be alone with a minor or teen. It's easy for that to happen accidentally. A Sunday school teacher should stay until the last child leaves, or a daycare teacher remains to wait on a parent who's running late. Adults must never allow themselves to be caught in that situation. When there are a large number of children or an activity is in an isolated location, we recommend following the guidelines of the National Association for the Education of Young Children. In general, they recommend smaller group sizes and low staff to child ratios as a way to not only ensure a quality experience for the children, but also to protect their health and safety. At camps, the ratios should be even smaller. As a rule, the more isolated the setting, the closer the ratio should be. Even older teens should always be in the presence of two adults, whether during missionary trips, camps, lock-ins, or other sleepovers at the church. This includes during transport in church vans or buses, a situation that's often hard to monitor but has the potential for problems. In addition to making sure you have proper staffing, physical changes in your building, particularly in daycare or Sunday school classrooms, are helpful as well. Install interior windows or make sure all doors remain open. Make sure a parent or guardian signs all children in before an event and out afterward. Not only is this a good safety practice because it makes sure every child is accounted for, it can also help shield the church from liability in case something happens before or after an event. Making sure everyone knows the ground rules can help avoid problems or a complaint over innocent intentions. For example, if hugging is permitted, make sure that it's sideways. Touch minors only on the arm, shoulder, or upper back. Holding hands should be permitted only with children younger than 5. Make sure that you have policies in place that cover social media, texting, and emails. Many times, would-be abusers gain 24/7 access to our youth through these digital platforms. Just as you should create policies that ensure no adult is ever physically alone with a minor, you should also prohibit adults from communicating one-on-one with minors. Information should be relayed through parents. If that's not possible, include another adult in any messaging. Adults should not become friends with children on social media. Instead, set up an organization-wide page or group and make sure access is restricted to approved members to prevent outside lurkers from gaining information about your youth. Minors under the age of 16 should never supervise other children. Once your policy manual is complete, your next step is to make sure that you follow it every day. Review your policies annually with staff and volunteers. Schools have fire drills because over time people tend to forget proper procedures and protocols. The same should apply to steps we take to protect our children. Everyone needs a reminder to stay vigilant. It's critical that once an accusation is made or an incident is made known, that the authorities are contacted immediately. Don't think that you can handle this by yourself. Reporting might even be required. Many states have lists of mandatory reporters, such as physicians, teachers, and sometimes clergy. You should notify your insurance company. The employee should be suspended with pay while allegations are pending. We've covered a lot of information in this video. The key points to remember: have a discussion at your church. Develop a plan of action, one that will include creating a written policy. If you already have plans and policies in place, review them to make sure they include newer issues like social media. Be persistent in enforcing these policies. Your agent will also be glad to help you with any coverage you may need for additional activities or programs the church is considering. We hope the information provided in this video has been helpful and informative. Please visit our website at smcins.com for more information and for further resources in this area.